Hey, what's up guys? How we doing? Today we're going to talk about base running. I've gotten a lot of emails and YouTube messages asking if I could go a little bit more into base running because it's something that we don't spend a lot of time talking about, but it is a huge part of the game that can win and lose your team ball games. So I'll start breaking down a few different things. Today what we're going to talk about is having a runner on second base with no outs and trying to get that runner to third base. So we're the base runner and we need to understand what balls we can get to third base with and what balls we can't. Now, there's a couple of easy ways that most people talk about, but then there's also a few balls that we really don't focus on and we probably could get to third base, but we don't go because we're unaware of it. And it's important every time we get to second base and we know there's no outs, our goal is to get to third base any way we can. And we need to go through these situations in our head because if we think that we're just going to see the ball hit and be able to react that quick without going through it in our mind first, it's not going to happen. So make sure when you get to second base with nobody out, you're consciously thinking about, okay, what balls can I get to third base with? And then if one of those balls happens to be put in play, you'll be able to make the decision much quicker. So let's go over a couple of the ways that you can get over there. The two probably easiest balls that most of us always get to third base with is first, any ball hit to the right side. So we're on second base and there's a ground ball to the second baseman or a ground ball to the first baseman. We pretty much every time easily get over to third base. The other way that happens a lot in a ball game is a deep fly ball. So we get a fly ball to the right fielder or a fly ball to the center fielder. Not very often to the left fielder unless he's going into the left center field gap, running away from us, and you have some pretty good speed. But typically any flat, deep fly ball, even a medium range fly ball to right field, we can get there on. And most deep fly balls to center, we can tag up and move to third base and get there with one out. So those are the easy ways that usually happen. Let's talk about the other ways that we don't always think about, or the tougher ways to get over there. The first way you can think about, or that you need to understand, is a slow roller or a chop. So we get a slow roller to the third baseman, he's going to charge in to get the ball, we can move over to third base. A little chopper or slow roller to the shortstop, that gets by the pitcher, it's important that it gets by the pitcher, and the shortstop's going to charge and field in here, we can move to third base. Once we see that high chopper or that slow roller and we know it's by the pitcher, we can move over. Another few balls that we can get over on, but these ones you typically will see the guy in second base kind of give up on these balls, but this is something that we can do. So there's a deep backhand ball to the third baseman back in this corner. He feels the ball here. He needs to make a really, really long throw to get the runner, and then there has to be a return throw that's pretty long to get you at third base. So once the ball is hit, you see the third baseman backhand the ball back here. You don't want to get so far off that he fields the ball and goes right to second, but get off a little bit. As he makes the throw, you can take off for third, and if you don't even have to have great speed for this. If you have decent speed, you should be able to easily get in there. Same thing with the ball to the backhand of the shortstop. So the shortstop ranges back here to the edge of the outfield grass, feels the ball, you retreat a little bit, but not all the way back to the bag. Once he makes that long throw, you can take off, and you should be able to get to third base before that long throw is completed. Catch by the first baseman, then a transfer to third base. It's almost impossible to get you. The last one, and this one causes some problems sometimes, is here we are, we've taken our secondary lead, we're right about here, and the ball is basically hit right at us. And we don't know, do we go, do we not go? Sometimes the ball's hit a little bit this side of us, sometimes the ball's hit a little bit to this side of us, and we're not really sure. What do? We kind of freeze, we play it safe, we go back. A couple things to keep in mind. First thing is, know where the shortstop is playing. So if you're taking your lead, if you're right here with your lead and your secondary ends up right here and the shortstop playing directly behind you, any ball hit at you, or even a ball that's hit a little bit to the left of you, if he's playing right here, he could take one step here, catch it, and throw to third base. So there's no concrete rule. A lot of times you'll hear, if the ball's hit to your left, you can go. If the ball's hit at you or to your right, you don't go. Well, depending on where the shortstop plays, that goes into the equation, especially when you get a little bit older. If there's a right-handed pull hitter and the shortstop's playing way over here in the hole and the ball's hit at you, well, he's got to come all the way over here to field it. He's not going to come this way, field it, and then go back this way so you can advance. Even sometimes on a ball to the right of you, just to the right of you, if it's not a rocket but a slower hit ground ball and he's playing over here, you could still do it also. So the first thing is know where the shortstop is. And the second thing is know the speed of the ground ball. So a good way to think about it is if you can beat the ball to you, then you can go. So even if the ball's hit to this side of you, but it's not hit very fast and you can beat that ball, a lot of times there's no way the shortstop's going to get in here, charge it, pick up the ball, and deliver it to third base and get you out. If you can't beat the ball, if the ball is hit to your right and it's hit decent enough speed that there's no way you can beat it, well then you have to go back. Same thing if it's hit right at you. If it's hit hard right at you, then depending again on the shortstop, you're probably not going to be able to go. So there's a lot of things to take into account here. But the two things, when balls hit at you or very close to you, like I said, the rule is usually if the ball's hit to your left of you, you can go. If it's hit at you or to the right, you can't. But that's not always the rule. There are exceptions. Where the shortstop's playing, if he's playing somewhere, either way up the middle or way in the hole, and you don't think that he's able to get there, well then you can go. And then the second thing is speed of the ball. If you can beat the ball, if you can get across the ball and beat it, then there's a good chance he's not going to be able to throw you out. Just always remember, go through the speed of the ball, where the shortstop's playing, and you should be okay. Very last thing to think about, and this also gives you a lot of trouble, is don't forget about the pitcher. So just because the ball's hit up the middle, and you say, well, the ball's to the left of me, I can go. Everything needs to get by the pitcher first. The ball's hit up the middle, you take off, the pitcher makes a great play, all he has to do is turn, throw the ball 60 feet, and you're out. So always be aware of the pitcher. So keep these in mind. You may think it's minor stuff, but especially late in the ball game, being able to get to third base with nobody out is huge. Get a runner on third base with only one out, there's a lot of ways to score you. Not being able to get there, well, now we need a base hit. And sometimes a base hit won't even do it if you're on second base. So getting a runner on third with one out is huge for your team and huge for your batter. It's going to make his job a lot easier. So think about these things, and I hope it helps you out. And if you have any questions, let me know.